dashboard frozen in free. Empty expressway, just a shadow in me. Sparking a light while the city stays asleep. Windows cracked open, secrets I keep. Ash on the poster drifting away. Fading the colors of a heavy long day. Tires on the pavement, a low steady hum. Waiting for the clarity that's yet to come. Street lamps are passing like flickers of gold. Wrapped in the stories that never get told. Exhale the pressure, let the cabin feel high. Watching the moon hanging loose in the sky. No destination, just burning the fuel. Breaking the silence, breaking every rule. Mirror reflects a stare growing wide. Leaving the ghost of the burden outside. The air gets heavy but the mind feels thin. Tracing the places where the dreams begin. Slow down the ocean, let the engine breathe. Below the surface when our worries seethe. Cruising through the haze of a midnight brain. Watching the struggles just dissolve away. One hand on the wheel, one hand on the spark. Carving a tunnel through the quiet dark. The world is a blur in the rearview blast. Letting the weight of a moment's days. Higher than the clouds on a coastal breeze. Finding my peace with a sudden ease. The scent of the herb meets the cold night air. Running my fingers through the atmosphere. Radio static, clean songs from the past. Knowing this feeling wasn't built to last. Passing the billboards with nothing to sell. Trapped in the comfort that I know so well. Fuel light is glowing like a dying star. Wondering exactly how we got this. The heart gets heavy but the mind feels thin. Tracing the places where the dreams begin. Slow down the motion, let the engine breathe. Below the surface where the worries see. Cruising through the haze of a midnight gray. Watching the struggle just dissolve away. One hand on the wheel, one hand on the sparks. Carving a tunnel through the quiet dark. The world is a blur in the rearview blast. Letting the weight of a moment's past. Higher than the cloud on a coastal breeze. Finding my peace with a sudden ease.
Yeah. Clock on the dashboard, frozen and free. Windows cracked open just enough to feel free. Slow burning cherry painted shadows in the cabin. Thinking about everything that ever had to happen. Street lights overhead blurring in the ghost streaks. High on the silence for the city wakes and speaks. Ties on the melody against the cold asphalt. Finding my balance inside of every fall. No destination, just a full tank and a light. Drifting through the heavy velvet of the night, yeah. Ash falling softly on the passenger seat. Searching for the pieces where the sky and valley meet. The silver haze is heavy, but the mind is feeling clear. Watching all the static slowly start to disappear. One more rotation under the yellow glow. Just cruising through the places where the slow winds blow. Yeah. The air tastes like pine and a little bit of diesel. Threading through the darkness like a golden needle. Every red light feels like moment to breathe. Watching the smoke rise in the ghostly weave. No pressure on the pedal, no weight on the chest. Just a quiet, lonely motion putting ghosts to rest. That's the old diner where the neon is dead. Replaying every single word that you ever said. But the cloud in the car keeps the ghosts outside. Safe in the bubble of this late night ride. The moon is a sliver, just a scratch in the dark. Looking for a spark in the middle of a park. Lean back steady, let the engine just drone. The best kind of feeling is being alone. One hand on the wheel and the other in the sky. Counting every satellite drifting on by. Ash falling softly on the passenger seat. Searching for the pieces where the sky and valley meet. The silver haze is heavy, but mine is feeling clear. Watching all the static slowly start to disappear. One more rotation, another yellow glow. Just cruising through the places where the slow winds blow. Oh. start to disappear. One slow rotation under the yellow glow, just cruising through the places where the slow winds blow. Oh.
Clock on the dashboard, frozen at 3. Ash on my denim, drifting so free. Window cracked open, letting cold air slide. City lights blurring like melting ice. Tires humming low on the vacant asphalt. Thinking about everything that was my fault. Burning the leaf just to quiet the noise. Back in the days when we acted like boys. Heavy eyelids watching lane lines fly. Smoke rings rising toward a violet sky. Got a steady grip on the steering wheel. Trying to remember how it felt to feel. Gas station flickering under the moon. Hope I don't reach my front door too soon. Radio static caught between the frequencies. Solitude drifting through the swaying trees. The world is asleep but I'm wide awake. Giving the pressure a moment to break. Exhale the tension into the dark. Looking for fire from a tiny spark. Slow motion drifted through the midnight haze. Losing my shadow in a velvet maze. Crowding, stabbing and peace in my chest. Letting the angel put the ghost to rest. Higher than the street lamp shining on the hood. Doing exactly what I understood. Late night cruising while the pavement sigh. Underneath the blanket of the ink-stained sky. Neighborhoods pass like a deck of cards. Fences guarding all those empty yards. One more turn before I head back home. King of a kingdom made of chrome. Filtering thoughts through the silver breath. Chasing a life that ain't scared of death. Just me and the glowing ember in the dark. Leaving behind every bitter mark. The world is asleep but I'm wide awake. Giving the pressure a moment to break. Exhale the tension into the dark. Looking for fire from a tiny spark. Slow motion drifting through the midnight haze. Losing my shadow in a velvet maze. Cloud in the cabin and peace in my chest. Letting the engine put the ghost to rest. Higher than a street lamp shining on the hood. Doing exactly what I understood. Late night cruising while the pavement sighs. Underneath the blanket of the ink-stained skies.
Clock on the dashboard, frozen at 3. Heavy haze blurring the highway scenery. Window crack just an inch for the greater escape. Mapping my thoughts in the jagged circular shape. Tires humming a low frequency song. Left the city behind, where the shadows roll on. Ash on my jeans like a dusting of snow. Watching the orange tip flicker and glow. Rolling through the silence of a midnight lane. Filtering the pressure in the phantom pain. Gravity is lighter when the cherry burns bright. Floating through the static of a deep blue night. No destination, just a steady slow climb. Raking every tether to the hands of time. Street lamps passing like flickers of thought. The peace in the lungs is the only thing sought. Exhale the heavy and inhale the calm. The velvet darkness is a soothing balm. Reflections dancing on the polished black hood. Misunderstood, feelings finally understood. Lean back the seat, let the headrest hold the weight. Drifting past the exit of a locked garden gate. No siren in the distance, no pressure to arrive. The only soul breathing in a world barely alive. A ghost in the lane with the glowing green ember. Fading in the moments I won't need to remember. Rolling through the silence of a midnight lane. Filtering the treasure in the phantom rain. Gravity is lighter when the carry burns bright, floating through the static of the deep blue night. No destination, just a steady slow climb, breaking every tab into the hands of time. Rolling through the silence of a midnight lane, filtering the pressure and the phantom pain. Gravity is lighter when the carry burns bright, floating through the static of a deep blue night. No destination, just a steady slow climb, breaking every tether to the hands of time.
Orange cherry glowing in the dark interior. City lights through the glass looking inferior. Floating down the lane while the clock strikes 4. Keep the windows cracked just a little bit more. Heavy haze clinging to my velvet seat, feeling every heartbeat, sinking with the beat. No destination, just a full tank of gas, watching every shadow as the silhouettes pass. Ash falls light like a gray winter snow. Nowhere to be and there is nowhere to go. The highway stretches a black satin ribbon, living in a space that the daytime has hidden. My lungs feel heavy but my mind feels light, tracing out the constellations of the night. The dashboard glow is the only sun I need, drifting through the silence at a steady speed.
Slow burning till the morning turns gold, half written stories that will never be told. In the thick of the cloud where the air stays still, caught in the motion of a midnight grill. Let the smoke curl up to the fabric ceiling, wrapped in the comfort of a vacant feeling.
Street lamps flickering like a dying pulse. Nothing in the world feels bitter or false, just the hum of the tires on the cold concrete, and the bitter smell of something herbal and sweet. My eyes are heavy red but the vision is clear, leaving every worry in the rear view mirror. The radio is low, playing something with soul, losing every fraction of my self-control.
The skyline is the jagged teeth of the town, but I'm way up high while the world is down. Big miss swerving in the cavity alone, speaking in the dialect of silent tones. One last pull before the embers fade out. This is what the quietude is all about. A lonely voyager in a metal shell, underneath the magic of a midnight spell. Slow burning till the morning turns gold, half-written stories that will never be told. In the thick of the cloud where the air stays still, caught in the motion of a midnight grill. Let the smoke curl up to the fabric ceiling, wrapped in the comfort of a vacant feeling.
Dashboard clock flickers 3 a.m. Ashtrays heavy with the weight of sins. Windows cracked, just a silver sliver. Watching city gold start to shiver. A steady haze drifting through the vents, burning through the hours and the sense. Red lights bleeding on the damp asphalt, moving slow like it's nobody's fault. Wrapped in a cloud of a sweet big shade, watching how the daylight starts to fade. My thoughts are heavy, but my feet are light, gliding through the belly of the quiet night. Slow burning till the sky turns gray, drifting further from the noise of day. Keep the tires spinning on the velvet road, lightening the pressure of the heavy load. In the thick of it, the world just slows. Where the quiet goes, nobody knows. Just a steady breath in a hollow space, vanishing without a single trace. Slow burning till the sky turns gray, drifting further from the noise of day. Keep the tires spinning on the velvet road, lightening the pressure of the heavy load. In the
thick of it, the world just slows. Where the quiet goes, nobody knows. Just a steady breath in a hollow space, vanishing without a single trace.
Street lamps passing like a golden blur. Everything is softer than it ever were. No destination, just a rhythmic flow, letting all the tangled tensions go. One more spark against the velvet dark, leaving behind every jagged mark. The engine hums a low frequency, setting every locked emotion free. The highway lines are a constant street, finding all the answers that I didn't see. Smoke curling around the steering wheel, making everything feel almost real. The stereo's playing something deep and low, giving me the permission to move slow. Halfway to nowhere and I'm doing fine, trading all my worries for a straight white line. Eyes getting heavy but the mind is wide, taking every shadow for a gentle ride, till the first sun cracks the horizon line, and I'm back inside this ticking frame of mind. Slow burning till the sky turns gray, drifting further from the noise of day. Keep the tires spinning on the velvet door, lightening the pressure of the heavy load. In the thick of it, the world just slows. Where the quiet goes, nobody knows. Just a steady breath in a hollow space, vanishing without a single trace. Slow burning till the sky turns gray, drifting further from the noise of day. Keep the tires spinning on the velvet road, lightening the pressure of the heavy load. In the thick of it, the world just slows. Where the quiet goes, nobody knows. Just a steady breath in a hollow space, vanishing without a single trace.
The dashboard clock is frozen on a ghostly white glow. Tires humming secrets to the pavement down below. A single spark ignites the silence in the leather seat, rolling through the skeleton of every quiet street. The window cracks are slippery just to let the winter in, tracing silver circles on the surface of my skin. I'm drifting past the empty lots where memories decay, chasing down the feeling that the sunlight stole away. The heavy air's curling like a ribbon in the dark, leaving behind the pressure and the bitterness and spark. I see the city lights blurring into golden smears, filtering the static of the long and heavy years. No destination left upon this dusty glowing screen, just the velvet valley and the spaces in between. The engine plays a lullaby that vibrates in my chest, found him in the motion what I couldn't find in rest. Slow down, spinning up a word tonight. Hold the hazy vision in the dim interior lights. The weight is lifting upward with the rising of the gray, floating further distant from the burdens of a day. Let the asphalt swallow every worry left behind, in the quiet theater of a wandering mind. The street lines count the seconds like a steady yellow pulse, leaving all the vanity and everything that's false. The mirrors show a version that is finally at peace, watching all the tension find a temporary release. Nothing left to prove and there is nothing left to say, just a glowing embers in the miles of highway. Traffic signals flashing to a ghost crew on the corner, walking through the shadows like a solitary mourner. But there is comfort in the isolation of the glass, watching every phantom and the happy moments pass. The smoke is like a curtain drawn against the bitter cold, stories in the exhales that will never be retold. Just a phantom pilot in a kingdom made of chrome, hiding in the wonder in a temporary home. Slow down, spinning up the world tonight. Hold the hazy vision in the dim interior light. The body's lifting upward with the rising of the quake, floating further distant from the burners of the day. Let the asphalt swallow every worry left behind, in the quiet theater of a wandering mind.
your light. The weight is drifting upward with the rising of the grave, floating further distant from the burdens of the day. Let the alpha swallow every worry left behind in the quiet theater of a wandering mind. The dashboard glows, bleeding through the haze. Windows cracked to catch the midnight phase. The engine hums a low-frequency tune beneath the silver curve of a tired moon. Asphalt slow like memories on the floor. I don't look for answers in the dark no more. Just a rhythmic pulse of the white lines blurred in a quiet space where nothing needs a word. The street lamps flicker in a steady stream, drifting through the layers of a waking dream. Heavy eyes watching as the city fades, lost inside the gravity of violet shade. Rolling through the silence of the 4 a.m., searching for the pieces where the day began. Clouds are gray dissolving in the velvet air, finding all the comfort that was never there. Keep the tires spinning on the cold concrete, everything is drifting in the passenger seat. Just the smoke and shadows in the open road, lifting every burden from a heavy load. Rolling through the silence of the 4 a.m., searching for the pieces where the day began. Clouds are gray dissolving in the velvet air, finding all the comfort that was never there. Keep the tires spinning on the gold concrete, everything is drifting in the passenger seat. Just the smoke and shadows in the open road, lifting every burden from a heavy load. Traffic lights are blinking on an empty square, scent of verbal essence in a stagnant air. My reflection mirrors back a hollow gaze, navigation spinning in a smoky maze. No destination written on a glowing screen, just a ghost of places where I might have been. Lean the seat back further, let the world go by, underneath the ceiling of a charcoal sky. The street lamp flickering a steady strum, drifting through the layers of a waking dream. Heavy eyelids watching as the city fades, lost inside the gravity of violet shade. Rolling through the silence of the 4 a.m., searching for the pieces where the day began. Clouds of gray dissolving in the velvet air, finding for the comfort that was never there. Keep the tires spinning on the old concrete, everything is drifting in the passenger seat. Just the smoke and shadows in the open road, lifting every burden from a heavy load. Rolling through the silence of the 4 a.m., searching for the pieces where the day began. Clouds of gray dissolving in the velvet air, finding all the comfort that was never there. Keep the tires spinning on the old concrete, everything is drifting in the passenger seat. Just the smoke and shadows in the open road, lifting every burden from a heavy load. Dashboard glow is bleeding through the dark. A quiet ignition finding its initial spark. I pull the window down, just a narrow crack, watching the tail lights fade to velvet black. The interstate is stretching out its lonely spine, counting every mile and every broken white line. My thumbs are resting light against the steering wheel, trying to forget the way the heavy daylight used to feel. I strike a match and let the sofa fill the air, exhaling burdens like I haven't got a single care. The cherry embers dance against the midnight glass, watching the ghosts of old decisions slowly pass. The street lamps flicker like they're running out of breath. A hollow silence playing checkers with the concept of death. I keep my foot steady on the pedal of this moving cage, turning over another blank and unwritten page. Slow down the motion, let the gray clouds rise, far away from all the prying and the judging eyes. The city is a skeleton, the rearview mirror's glass, searching for a sanctuary that isn't really there. So let the asphalt hum a melody of cold ties, avoiding all the steeples and the rusted telephone wires. Just a drifter in the belly of a deep indigo blue, running from the version of the world I once knew. Slow down, ocean, let the gray clouds lie, far away from all the pride and the judging eyes. The city is a skeleton in the rearview mirror's glass, searching for a sanctuary that isn't really there. So let the asphalt hum a melody of cold ties, avoiding all the steeples and and the rest of telephone rise. Just a drifter in the belly of a deep indigo blue, running from the version of the world I once knew. The radio was static, but it tells a better truth than all the polished lies they fed me in my youth. A billboard for a savior peeling off the wooden frame. Nothing in this darkness even dares to whisper your name. The wind is biting sharp against my glowing fingertips. The taste of bitter paper lingering upon my lips. I pass a diner where the coffee is a stagnant pool. Play the honest man and ended up the weary fool. The clock upon the console stopped an hour ago. No one left to hurry yet, no one left to go. The trees are arching overhead like ribs of some great beast. The hunger in my chest to finally cease to feast. I flick the ash into the drain, watch it turn to dust. The machinery of living is beginning out of rust. Just the hum of the engine in the center burning clove. Moving through the shadows of the secrets that we won't slow down. Emotion let the gray clouds rise, far away from all the prying and the judging eyes. The city of the skeleton in my rearview mirror's glare. Searching for a sanctuary that isn't really there. So let the asphalt hum a melody of cold tires, avoiding all the steeples and the rusted telephone wires. Just a drifter in the belly of a deep indigo blue, running for the version of the world I once knew. Slow down, emotion let the gray clouds rise, far away from all the prying and the judging eyes. The city is a skeleton, is the rearview mirror's glare. Searching for a sanctuary that isn't really there. So let the asphalt hum a melody of cold tires, avoiding all the steeples and the rusted telephone wires. Just a drifter in the belly of a deep indigo blue, running from the version of a world I once knew. Slow down, emotion let the gray clouds rise. Ooh, far away from all the crying and the judging eyes. Ooh, the city is a skeleton and the living in a square. Searching for a sanctuary that isn't really there. The radio is static, but it tells a better truth than all the polished lies they fed me in my youth. A billboard for a savior peeling off the wooden frame. Nothing in this darkness even dares to whisper your name. The wind is biting sharp against my glowing fingertips. The taste of bitter people lingering upon my lips. I glass a diner where the coffee is a stacking pool. Played the honest man and ended up a weary fool.
The dashboard glows, casting ghosts across my leather seat. The static hum is breathing low beneath the empty street. I flick the fleck and watch the cherry blossom in the dark. The tiny sun and melt the frozen silence with a spark. The asphalt ribbon stretching to the void of silver haze. I'm drifting through the liquid hours of the velvet maze. The city lights are drowning in the rearview far behind. I'm tracing every tangled wire inside a heavy mind. The window cracks just enough to let the cool air bite. The ghostly trailer gray ascends and vanishes from sight. The clock is stuck at hours that the sun forgot to claim. I'm moving through the shadows without needing any name. The tires are singing lullabies to stones and broken glass. I watch the skeletons of trees and rusted fences pass. My fingertips are stained with cedar and the smell of pine. Mapping out the borders where the sky and earth entwine. The gravity is loosening a skip upon the wheel. The metal fades away until there's nothing left to feel. The horizon is a curtain that I'm pulling slowly back. Writing messages of smoke against a canvas painted black. Float across the valley where the moonlight comes to rest. Keep the fire burning deep within the hollow chest. Chasing down the phantom line that letting go the weight. Sailing through the stillness past the locking of the gate. Higher than the steeples where the quiet seekers sleep. Promise just the broken stars are yours for us to keep. Turn the engine down and let the universe expand. Holding on to nothing with a steady open hand. The street lamps are like golden needles stitching up the night. I'm bathing in the amber of a flickering barrel light. The radio is breathing out a slow and steady bass. The vibrates in the marrow and the hollows of the space. No destination calling me, no map to explore. I've left the frantic world behind and closed the heavy door. The fuel is getting low, but I have found a hidden flow where everything is moving fast while moving very slow. The condensation beads upon the glass of frozen tears. I'm shedding all the armor that I've worn for all these years. The clouds are thick with honey and the scent of angel rain. Washing out the salt and stuff from every tide rain. I see the world in ripples like a pebble in the stream. Somewhere on the border of a memory and a dream. The steering wheel is cold, but there is warmth inside the haze. Navigating through the wreckage of the busy, frantic place. The gravity is loosening its grip upon the wheel. The metal fades away until there's nothing left to feel. The horizon is a curtain that I'm pulling slowly back. Writing messages and smoke against a canvas painted black. Float across the valley where the moonlight comes to west. Keep the fire burning deep within the hollow chest. Chasing down the phantom lights and letting go the weight. Sailing through the stillness past the locking of the gate. Higher than the steeples where the quiet secrets sleep. Promises to broken stars are yours for us to keep. Turn the engine down and let the universe expand. Holding on to nothing, whip a steady up the land.
Flow reverse the valley where the moonlight comes to rest. Hear the fire burning deep within the hollow chest. Chasing down the battle lines and letting go the great. Sail through the stillness, that's the locking of the key. High up in the deepest where's the quiet sleep proceed. Promises to broken stars are yours for us to keep. Turn the engine out and let the universe expand. Holding on to nothing with a steady open hand.
Dashboard glow is casting shadows on the leather seat. The engine hums a low vibration underneath my feet. Rolling down the glass to let the stagnant air escape. The skyline blurred and shifted in a jagged silver shape. I flip the silver wheel and watch the orange ember flare. A heavy velvet fragrance hanging suspended in the air. The stoplights changing colors for an audience of none. Another lonely circuit since the setting of the sun. My lungs are feeling heavy while the pressure starts to fade. Moving through the tunnels in a quiet cavalcade. The street lamps cuts like pulses in a steady rhythmic flow. Nowhere left to hurry and there's nowhere left to go. The asphalt is a river painted jet and charcoal ray, washing out the tension from the clutter of the day. I keep my head back slightly, let the windows gas the draft. The city looks like fiction from the forward to the aft. The friction of the rubber meets the cold and open lane. A slow release of chemicals to numb the mental strain. The world is getting softer at the edges of my sight. Just drifting through the hollow hours buried in the night. Exhaling clouds that vanish in the mirror of the glass. Watching all the ghosts of my ambition slowly pass. One hand upon the steering wheel, the other in the hay. Searching for clarity inside this purple day. The midnight is a sanctuary built of steel and spark, leaving all the heavy questions trailing in the dark. Floating on the highway in a vessel made of chrome, a long and winding circle that will never lead me home. The radio is static, but it fits the current mood. Beneath the overcast, the metal surface is renewed. I see my own reflection in the storefronts passing by. A flicker in the corner of a tired-weary eye. There's comfort in the motion and the turning of the tide, feeding all the embers of a dying in a fire. The clock up on the console doesn't matter anymore. I'm gliding through a canyon on the urban valley floor. The silence is a luxury I finally can't afford. Pulling back the curtain on the things that I ignored. Smoke is like a ghost that wants to linger in my hair, blended with the coolness of the early morning air. I find a hidden rhythm in the picking of the turn, watching how the paper and the dry tobacco burn. The gears are shifting smoothly as I navigate the bend, a journey with no gravity and one that shouldn't end. The friction of a lover meets the cold and open rain. A slow release of chemicals to numb the mental strain. The world is getting softer at the edges of my sight. Just drifting through the hollow hours buried in the night. Exhaling chaos that vanish in the mirror of the glass. Watching all the ghosts of my ambition slowly pass. One hand upon the steering wheel, the other in the haze. Searching for clarity inside this purple daze. The midnight hill was sanctuary built of steel and spark, leaving all the heavy questions trailing in the dark. Walking on the highway in a vessel made of chrome, a long and winding circle that will never lead me home. Exhaling clouds that vanish in the mirror of the glass. Why can't the ghosts of my ambition slowly peace? One hand upon the steering wheel, the other in the haze. Searching for clarity inside this purple day. The midnight is a sanctuary built of steel and spark, leaving all the heavy questions trailing in the dark. Floating on the highway in a vessel made of chrome, a long and winding circle that will never lead me home. paints the leather in a dim blue hue. Passing street lamps bleeding through the residue. I flick a match and watch the sulfur spark against the dark. One deep breath to steady every fractured mark. The road stretches out like a ribbon of unwashed silk. The moon is hanging heavy like a drop of sour milk. I am drifting past the houses where the lucky people sleep, while I am counting secrets that I promised I would keep. Slow motion drifting through the quiet of the lane, exhaling all the pressure and the ghosts inside my brain. The window is a crack just to let the winter in. The haze is thick enough to cover up a dozen sins. I am moving at a pace that the clock cannot define. Just another shadow on the edge of a line, searching for a frequency that finally feels like home. In the middle of the silence where I'm never quite alone. The rearview mirror shows the city as a fading spark, a constellation drowning in the belly of the dark. No destination is scribbled on the map upon the sea, just a hum of rubber rolling on the empty street. The cherry glows brighter as the oxygen arrives, thinking about the fragments of 100 different lives. I saw a fox darting through a hedge of tangled gray. He looked at me as if he had 1,000 things to say, but the engine is the only voice that speaks to me tonight. A steady drum that makes the heavy burdens feel so light. I pass the line where the waitress counts the empty stalls, the way the yellow flickering hits a brick and mortar walls. I am a ghost in a chariot of iron and a glass, waiting for the heavy clouds of memory to pass. The smoke curls upward like a spirit in the air. I find a hidden meaning in the way it lingers there. The gears are shifting smooth like a prayer. Bring my breath, living in the moment between life and little death. Slow motion drifting to the quiet of the lane, exhaling all the pressure and the ghost inside my brain. The window is a crack just to let the winter in. The haze is thick enough to cover up a dozen sins. I am moving at a pace that the cat cannot define, just another shadow on the edge of the line, searching for a frequency that finally feels like home. In the middle of the silence where I'm never quite alone. Motion drifting through the quiet of a lane, exhaling all the pressure and the ghosts inside my brain. The window is a crack just to let the winter in. The haze is thick enough to cover up a dozen sins. I am moving at a pace that the clock cannot define, just another shadow on the edge of a line, searching for a frequency that finally feels like home. In the middle of the silence where I'm never quite alone. Dashboard glow paints the leather in the ghost light. Watching street lamps flicker, then surrender to the coastline. Windows crack just to fangle with the let the cold in. Another mile markers past and I am barely noticing. Ice in the cup, rattling a hollow kind of melody. The city left behind us just a fading piece of memory. Yeah. Ash hangs heavy like a secret on the edge of lips. Silver clouds dancing slow in the cabin as the engine dips. No destination locked, just a compass in the marrow. Down a corridor of pines where the vision starts to narrow. The hum of the tires is the only conversation kept through the stretches of the valley where the weary haven't slept. Yeah, slow burning embers in the dark of the interior. Gravity is shifting like the world has gone inferior. Floating through the shadows of a heavy velvet blue. Nothing in the rear view except a distorted view.
Let the haze settle where the asphalt meets the sky.
Just a steady motion while the hour drifts on by. Yeah, street signs blurred like a watercolor running wet. Chasing down a feeling that I haven't mastered yet. The upholstery smells of cedar and a hint of winter rain, clearing out the clutter and the static in the brain. One hand on the wheel, guided by a silent instinct. Every thought I ever had is becoming more distinct. The moon is an anchor pulling tides across the hood. Understand the silence like I never thought I could. No sirens in the distance, no pressure in the chest. Just a ribbon pulsing up, a heart finally at rest. The flicker of the lighter is a sudden golden spark, tearing through the fabric of the all-consuming dark. Burning and bringing the dark of the interior. Gravity is shifting like the world is gone inferior. Flowing through the shadows of a heavy velvet blue. Nothing in the rear view except a distorted view.
Let the haze settle every asphalt meets the sky.
Just a steady ocean while the hours drift on by. The clock on the console is liar anyway. Time is just a ghost when you're hiding from the day. The smoke curls upward like a vine toward the roof. In this tiny cabin I am finally bulletproof. Let the engine breathe, let the weary pistons turn. There is peace inside the fire as the paper starts to burn. Burning embers in the dark of the interior. Gravity is shifting like the world is gone inferior. Floating through the shadow of the heavy velvet blue. Nothing in the rear view, just a distorted view.
Let the haze settle where the asphalt meets the sky.
Just a steady motion while the hours drift on by. No burning embers in the dark of the interior. Gravity is shifting like the world is gone inferior. Floating through the shadow of the heavy velvet blue. Nothing in the rear view, it's just a distorted view.
Let the haze settle where the asphalt meets the sky.
Just a steady motion while the hours drift on by.
Dashboard closes off, the electric blue. I'm rolling windows down to let the ghost pass through. One hand steady on the cracked leather wheel, the other catching sparks that the dark tries to steal. The freeway stretches out like a velvet spine. I'm counting painted stripes to keep my thoughts in line. No destination marked upon the glowing screen, just drifting through the spaces that remain unseen. The thick haze settles in the hollow of a door. I'm searching for the calm I couldn't find before. The city lights are blurring in a heavy golden stream. Everything is moving like a fever dream. Slow, burning till the embers turn to gray. Watching all the heavy buttons drift away. Floating in the cabin while the world stands still. Moving past the shadows on the silent hill. High above the pavement on the silver cloud. Finally the quiet feels a little loud. Wrapped in the vapor of a midnight flame. Tracing every street that doesn't have a name. Street lamps flicker like they're running out of breath. I'm dancing with the silence and ignoring death. The air is heavy with the scent of dry leaves. The kind of peace that only a lonely driver weaves. My heartbeat matches every rotation of the tire. Quenching all the logic with the slow cooked fire. The mirror shows a stranger with a relaxed gaze. Losing every worry in a static colored haze. The thick haze settles in the hollow of the door. I'm searching for the calm I couldn't find before. The city lights are blurring in an every golden stream. Everything is moving like a fever dream. Slow, burning till the embers turn to gray. Walking over heavy burdens drift away. Floating even cabin while the world stands still. Moving past the shadows of a silent hill. High above the pavement on a silver cloud. Finally the quiet feels a little loud. Wrapped in the vapor of a midnight flame. Tracing every street that doesn't have a name. The clock is frozen at 3:15. Yeah. There's nowhere else that I would rather be. The world outside is just a frantic mess of years. But inside this metal box attention disappears. Just a messenger of gravity and steady wind. Leaving all the tangled webs of day behind. Slow, burning till the embers turn to gray. Watching all the heavy burden drift away. Low even cabin while the world stands still. Moving past the shadows on a silent hill. High above the pavement on a silver cloud. Mighty beach quiet feels a little loud. Wrapped in the vapor of a midnight flame. Tracing every street that doesn't have a slow. Burning till the embers turn to gray. Watching all the heavy burdens drift away. Floating in the cabin while the world stands still. Moving past the shadows on a silent hill. High above the pavement on a silver cloud. Silent beach quiet feels a little loud. Wrapped in the vapor of a midnight flame. Tracing every street that doesn't have a name. Window crack, just an inch for the gray clouds to drift. Engine idling low while the heavy spirits shift. The street lights are bleeding amber on the dashboard skin. Counting every mile where the silence starts to win. Left hand on the wheel, right hand sparking the spark. Carving out a sanctuary inside the velvet dark. No destination programmed in the glowing screen. Just a humming of the tires and the space in between. Street signs, blood like a painting left out in the rain. Tapping actuate to numb the static in my brain. The clock on the console is frozen at 3 a.m. The world is asleep, but I am breathing with them. Each track is a bridge to a place without a name, where the shadows and the ghosts are playing the same game. The asphalt is a river pulling me toward the edge of a promise that I made on a crumbling ledge. Slow down the motion, let the haze fill the cab. Taking back the pieces that the daylight tried to grab. Floating through the intersections under yellow eyes. Underneath the heavy weight of these charcoal skies. Keep the motor running, keep the embers burning bright. Solo navigation through the hollow of the night. Everything is hazy, everything is feeling right. Lost inside the vapor of the tunnel vision light. The speakers are vibrating with the subterranean bass. Washing off the memory of every crowded place. No notifications flashing on the passenger seat. Just the rhythm of the breathing in the city's heartbeat. I see the reflections dancing on the wet concrete. A solitary predator on the one-way street. The moat curls up like a question in the air. I find the answer hidden in the stillness everywhere. Slow down the motion, let the haze fill the gap. Taking back the pieces that the daylight tried to grab. Floating through the intersections under yellow eyes. Underneath the heavy weight of these charcoal skies. Keep the motor running, keep the embers burning bright. Solo navigation through the hollow of the night. Everything is hazy, everything is feeling right. Lost inside the vapor of the tunnel vision light. Let the haze fill the gap. Taking back the pieces that the daylight tried to grab. Floating through the intersections under yellow eyes. Underneath the heavy weight of these charcoal skies. Keep the motor running, keep the embers burning bright. Solo navigation through the hollow of the night. As again is hazy, everything is feeling right. Lost inside the vapor of the tunnel vision light.
Yeah, windows cracked just an inch for the gray clouds to escape. Cruising down the boulevard, losing track of time and shape. Yeah. Lighter flickers in the dark, a small spark against the cold. Head for cherry glowing red, telling stories left untold. Yeah. Speedometer is steady, but my mind is racing fast. Watching shadows of the street lamps flicker in the glass. City lights are blurring into ribbons of pale gold. Wrapped inside a heavy velvet feeling taking hold. The pavement hums a low frequency through the floor. I don't think about the things I used to worry for. Just the static on the frequency and the way the air feels thick. Moving through the evening like a slow motion train. Floating through the midnight with the windows rolled down. Rolling past the silent corner of this hollow town. Keep it burning steady while the world is fast asleep. Diving into secrets that the valley likes to keep. Smooth sailing through the dark with the heavy tilted crown. Floating through the midnight with the windows rolled down. Roll down, roll down, roll down. Yeah. Street signs passing by like ghosts in the rear view mirror. Every breath I'm taking makes the hazy vision clearer. No destination programmed in the dashboard glowing blue. Just a path of asphalt leading somewhere far removed. Ashes out the window falling down like summer rain. Leaving every heavy thought and every ghost of pain. Engine purring softly like a beast beneath the hood. Understanding things I never thought I understood. The pavement hums a low frequency through the floor. I don't think about the things I used to worry for. Just the static on the frequency and the way the air feels thick. Moving through the evening like a slow motion tree. Floating through the midnight with the windows low down. Rolling past the silent corners of this hollow town. Keep it burning steady while the world is fast asleep. Diving into secrets that the valley likes to keep. Smooth sailing through the dark with the heavy tilted crown. Floating through the midnight with the windows rolled down. Roll down, roll down, roll down, roll down, roll down. Floating through the midnight with the windows rolled down. Rolling past the silent corners of the hollow town. Keep
keep it burning steady while the world is fast asleep. Diving in the secrets that the valley likes to keep. Smooth sailing through the dark with the heavy tilted crown. Floating through the midnight with the windows rolled down. Roll down, roll down, roll down, roll down, roll down, roll down. Floating through the midnight, get the windows rolled down. Floating through the midnight, let the windows roll down.
Yeah. Clock face, frozen at 2:45. Shadows dancing on the leather upholstery. Window cracked, just a sliver for the breeze. Igniting the spark with the practice these. The lighter flickers like a dying star, tracing the lines of this rented car. Static on the radio, searching for a frequency. Floating in a cloud of temporary decency. Exhale slow, let the greatness bloom. Filling up the cabin like a velvet room. Street lamps casting in a rhythmic blur. The engine hums a low staker. Tires humming over cracks in the lane, washing away the grit and the grain. Headlights cutting through the thick of the dark, searching for a place to finally park. Cruising through the haze of the midnight cold, finding a fragment that make me wake. The city sleeps while the embers glow red. Silence in the voices inside of my head. Just a ghost on the asphalt road, lightening the weight of the heavy load. Burning down the hours till the sun wakes up, sipping from the bottom of a broken cup. Past the closed shutters and the empty walls, listening to the way the silence calls. No sirens screaming in the distance tonight, just the dashboard glowing with the pale green light. My pulse syncs up with the ticking of time. Reason and logic starting to run. The rearview mirror shows a path left behind. Solitude is the only treasure I find. Aromatic herb in a paper thin wrap. Map on the seat, but I'm off the map. Thinking of the people I used to know, watching them fade in the rearview flow. Every breath taken is a debt repaid. Watching the memory begin to shade. The windshield is a screen for a private film, ruling over a quiet and hollow wind. Cruising through the haze of the midnight cold, finding the fragments that make me whole. The city sleeps while the embers glow red. Silence in the voices not in my head. Just a ghost on we asphalt road, lightening the weight of the heavy load. Running down the hours till the sun wakes up, sipping from the bottom of a broken cup. The air gets thin as the altitude climbs, escaping me patterns of modern crime. No destination, just a steady pace. Looking for a gap in the fabric of space. One more pull before the fire dies out. Know what the mystery is all about. The stars are leaning in a bit too close, dealing with the spirits I love the most. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cruising through the haze of the midnight cold, finding the fragments that make me whole. The city shoots while the embers cold red. Shot in the rust is inside of my head. Just a ghost on the asphalt road, lightening the weight on the heavy load. Burning down the hours till the sun wakes up, sipping from the bottom of a broken cup. Cruising through the haze of the midnight cold, finding the fragments that make me whole. The city sleeps while the ember go red. Shouting in the voices inside of my head. Just a ghost on the asphalt road, lightening the weight of the heavy load. Burning down the hours till the sun wakes up, sipping from the bottom of a broken cup. Clock face frozen at 2:45. Just a silver moon and the engine for company. Tracing white lines on this asphalt skin. Window cracked and pinched, let the cold air in. Thick haze swirling around the steering column. Thoughts heavy and deep and a little bit solemn. The dashboard glow paints my hands in blue as I spark the fuel and look for a clearer view. Floating through the shadows on a midnight cruise, trading my heavy head for these velvet blues. The highway is a ribbon that never ends,
ends, where the street lamp glare and the darkness bends. Rolling slow while the world stays fast asleep. Got a handful of secrets that I mean to keep. Steady as the tires, I'm a low-key tune, chasing down the ghost of a fading moon, yeah. Floating through the shadows on a midnight cruise, trading my heavy head for these velvet blues. The highway is a ribbon that never ends, where the street lamp glare and the darkness bends. Rolling slow while the world stays fast asleep. Got a handful of secrets that I mean to keep. Steady as the tires, I'm a low-key tune, chasing down a ghost of a fading moon. Street lights passing like a strobe in slow motion. Heartbeat steady as the tides in the ocean. Gray clouds blooming from the tip of the spot. Writing my initials in the belly of the dark. No destination, just a grave for the motion. Sipping on the quiet like a magic potion. The city is a memory, fading in the mirror. Every mile I travel makes the feeling much clearer. The air tastes like cedar and the scent of the pine. Cutting to the static on the borderline. Everything is hazy but it feels so right. Wrapped in the silk of a summer night. Floating through the shadows on a midnight cruise, trading my heavy head for these velvet blues. The highway is a ribbon that never ends, where the street lamp glare and the darkness bends. Rolling slow while the world stays fast asleep. Got a handful of secrets that I mean to keep. Steady as the tires, I'm a low-key tune, chasing down the ghost of a faded me. Floating through the shadows on a midnight cruise, trading my heavy head for these velvet blues. The highway is a ribbon that never ends, where the street lamp glare and the darkness bends. Rolling slow while the world stays fast asleep. Got a handful of secrets that I mean to keep. Steady as the tires, I'm a low-key tune, chasing down the ghost of a fading moon, yeah.
Clock face frozen at 2:45. Shadows dancing on the leather upholstery. Light of sparks, a tiny sun in the dark. Leaving behind every worry and mark. Slow exhale against the windshield glass. Watching all the heavy hours finally pass. Street lamps flicker like a heartbeat skipping. Duty industrial park, I am slipping. Tires humming a low frequency tune. Under the gaze of a pale sickly moon. Windows crack, just a silver sliver. Feel the night air, make my spirit shiver. The horizon is a line that I never reached.
Trying to tackle lesson it is trying to teach.
Drifting through the grid where the ghosts reside. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Heavy clouds hanging in the cabin space. Time is a blur that I cannot erase. Burning bright till the cherry turns gray. Driving the weight of the morning away. Velocity slow, and the vision is wide. Lost in the flow of the midnight tide. Dash lights glowing in a soft amber hue. Old receipts and the scent that is due. Passing the brick in the rusted out wire. Fueling the soul with the slow burning fire. No destination required for the soul. Just the momentum of being whole. Static on the frequency between the bands. Taking the wheel with my trembling hands.
The city is sleeping in blankets of concrete. Walking the line where the earth and sky meet. Every mile is a page that I turn. Lessons and stuff that I had to learn.
The horizon is a line that I never reach.
Silence has a lesson in you trying to teach.
Drifting through the grid where the ghosts reside. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Heavy clouds hanging in the cabin space. Time is a blur that I cannot erase. Burning bright till the cherry turns gray. Driving the weight of the morning away. Velocity slow, and the vision is wide. Lost in the flow of the midnight tide. Heavy clouds hanging in the cabin space. Time is a
city slow, and the vision is wide, lost in the flow of the midnight tide.
Clock face frozen at the ghost hour. Ash falling soft like white powder. Rolling slow through the velvet street. Tires humming to a low end beat. Window crack, just a silver line. Tasting the fog in the heavy pine. Street lamps blurring in the golden streaks. Found the clarity that everyone seeks. Leaning back in the bucket seat. Escaping the grip of the midday heat. Radio playing something thick and slow. Nowhere left for the mind to grow. Dashboard blowing like a deep sea crab. Thinking back on the ways we laughed. The world is sleeping under heavy woe, while I'm feeling a magnetic pull. Slow burning through the midnight haze. Counting the turns in a rhythmic maze. One hand steady on the leather rim. Watching the city lights growing dim. Floating high above the pavement floor. Don't need a key for the secret door. Drifting away in a cloud of gray. Chasing the ghosts of the yesterday. Slow burning through the midnight haze. Counting the currents in a rhythmic maze. One hand steady on the leather rim. Watching the city lights growing dim. Floating high above the pavement floor. Don't need a key for the secret door. Drifting away in a cloud of gray. Chasing the ghosts of the yesterday. The air is thick with the quiet grace. Erasing the lines from my tired face. Beyond the bridge where the shadows bend. Waiting for the frantic rush to end. Just a spark and a steady breath. Cheating the silence and mocking death. The fuel is low but the spirit is light. Dissolving into the belly of the night. Concrete ribbons on the rolling wheels. Knowing exactly how the distance feels. The scent of the herb and the cooling rain. Washing away every jagged grain. Past the turn where the giants stand. Navigating through a phantom land. No more pressure and no more clocks. Just the vibration of the bass and shocks. Exhale heavy as the smoke rings spin. Opening up what was locked within. The steering wheel is a holy one. Crossing the edge to the great beyond. Headlights cutting through the velvet dark. Looking for a single hidden spark. Pieces found in the engine hum. Marching to the beat of a different show. Burning to the midnight haze. Counting the times in a rhythmic maze. One hand steady on my leather rim. Watching the city lights growing dim. Floating high above the pavement floor. I don't need a key for the secret door. Drifting away in a cloud of red. Chasing the ghosts of the yesterday. Slow burning through the midnight haze. Counting the turns in a rhythmic maze. One hand steady on my leather rim. Watching the city lights growing dim. Floating high above the pavement floor. Don't need a key for the secret door. Drifting away in a cloud of gray. Chasing the ghosts of the yesterday. Clock faces frozen at 3:15. The neighborhood is sleeping, but it's just me. Windows roll down, let the heaviness flow. Tires humming soft on the asphalt below. Asphalt slow on a worn-out floor mat. Chasing down thoughts where the ghosts used to chat. No destination, just a tank full of gas. Watching every shadow through the tinted glass. Street lamps flicker like a dying light bulb.
Drowning in the haze in this velvet club. One hand on the wheel, one clutch in the spark. Chasing silver outlines to the hollow dark. Radio was static, but it feels like a song. Right where I am is where I belong. The engine is a heartbeat, steady and low. Counting every mile as the memories go. Slow burning embers in the dead of the night. Floating on the vapor till the morning light. Wheels keep turning while the world stands still. Higher than the pine trees over the hill. Clouding up the cabin with a herbal scent. Wondering where all of the lavender went. Drifting through the silence on a one-way track. Once you hit the highway there is no turning back. The air feels thick like a heavy wool coat. Wrapped in the silence of a drifting boat. No sirens when there are no people in sight. Just a lonely pilot in the middle of flight. Let the gravity loosen, let the vision blur. Everything is moving in a gentle stir. The stars are just being pretending charcoal sky. Asking all the questions with no reason why. Gas station neon is a blur in the rear. The path ahead is finally starting to clear. Not a soul on the shoulder, not a bird in the tree. Just the sweet smell of this emerald tea. My lungs feel the weight of the secrets I keep. While the rest of the valley is buried in sleep. Lean back to seat, let the dashboard blow. Taking it easy, taking it slow. The horizon is a line that I never can touch. Holding on to nothing, yet I have so much. The smoke is a ladder climbing up to the roof. Searching for the feeling, searching for the groove. Slow burning embers in the dead of the night. Floating on the vapor till the morning light. Wheels keep turning while the world stands still. Higher than the pine trees over the hill. Counting up the cabin with a herbal scent. Wondering what all of the calendar went. Drifting through the silence on a one-way track. Once you hit the highway there is no turning back. Slow burning embers in the middle of the night. Floating on the vapor till the morning light. Wheels keep turning while the world stands still. Higher than the pine trees over the hill. Counting up the cabin with the herbal scent. Wondering what all of the calendar went. Drifting through the silence on a one-way track. Once you hit the highway there is no turning back. Once you hit the highway there is no turning back. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Clock hits 3 and the world goes mute. Rolling up the Ramadina velvet suit. Low beams cutting through the heavy gray mist. Another mile down on a long mental list. The window cracked just an inch for the breeze. Passing ghostly silhouettes of the willow trees. Sub bass rattling the loose change tray. Watching all the daylight tension fade away.
Ash falls light like a secret on the floor. I don't look in the rear view mirror anymore. Slow motion drifted through the interstate lines. Exhaling heavy clouds under silver tree signs. No destination, just a high-speed crawl. Listening to the silence till it says it all. One light glowing in the cabin tonight. Everything is blurry, but the feeling is right.
The dashboard low is the only sun I need. Steady on the pedal, pushing back the speed. Street lamps flickering like a pulse in the dark. Leaving behind every worry in every spot. My lungs feel heavy, but my mind feels clear. The static on the radio is all I wanna hear. Concrete ribbons winding through the empty space. Lost in a rhythm that the clock can't chase.
Fuel gauge dipping toward the empty mark. A quiet king ruling over the park. The horizon is a promise that I haven't kept yet. Burning down the worries and the lingering regret. Eyes wide open while the suburbs sleep deep. Promises the broken and the secrets that I keep. Slow motion drifting through the interstate lines. Exhaling heavy clouds under silver street signs. No destination, just a high-speed crawl. Listening to the silence till it says it all. One light glowing in the cabin tonight. Everything is blurry, but the feeling is right.